is a perfect rhythm to the universe, just as the sun rises without being told, just as the flowers bloom in their season, so too is your life unfolding with divine precision. When we try to force, chase, or control, we block the very blessings we are meant to receive. But when we trust the timing and surrender with faith, miracles find their way to us effortlessly and abundantly. Today, I want to remind you, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And everything you've asked for is making its way to you, right on time. There is a sacred rhythm to this universe that is far greater than anything we can fully understand. Just as the moon follows its phases, just as the tide rolls in and out without needing permission, so too is there a divine order to your life. Everything happens when it is meant to. Not a moment too early, not a second too late. The power of divine timing is not just a comforting idea. It is a deep spiritual truth that invites you to surrender and trust in the unfolding of your path. You see, so often we feel like we're running out of time. We look around and compare our journey to others. We wonder why someone else received their blessing while we're still waiting in silence. But the truth is, your life has its own timing. Your soul has its own calendar, and your blessings are being prepared for you with precision, care, and love. The delay is not a denial. It is a divine orchestration of things you cannot yet see. When you plant a seed in the earth, you don't stand over it demanding that it sprout the next morning. You water it, you give it sunlight, you trust that nature will do its work beneath the surface. The same is true of your desires, your dreams, your healing. Just because you can't see it happening doesn't mean it isn't. The universe works in quiet and mysterious ways, and most of the magic is done in the dark, far away from your eyes, but never far away from your heart. And sometimes things are delayed because you are being protected. A door closes, not to punish you, but to prevent you from entering a place that would not honor your worth. A relationship ends, and though it hurts, it's clearing space for something greater to arrive. Divine timing removes what isn't meant for you so that you can receive what truly is. Even in the moments of confusion, the timing is perfect. Even in the waiting, the transformation is taking place. But to trust divine timing is to practice surrender. And surrender is not easy for the mind. The mind wants logic, answers, control, but the soul wants flow, peace, and trust. When you align with your soul, you begin to feel that peace. You no longer chase, you no longer force, you simply allow. And in that allowing, miracles happen. The most beautiful part of divine timing is that it doesn't require you to know all the answers. You don't need to map out every detail. You don't have to worry about how or when. You just have to stay in alignment with love. You just have to say yes to what feels good and true and authentic to you. You just have to take the next step with faith. And even when you don't know the next step, especially then, you're invited to pause and trust. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is be still. Sometimes your next breakthrough isn't in doing more, it's in being more. Being present, being open, being faithful. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are on your divine schedule, and everything that is meant for you is making its way to you with grace. The relationships, the opportunities, the healing, the abundance. It's all coming. But it will arrive when it aligns with your highest good. You wouldn't want anything too soon, before you are ready to receive and cherish it fully. The universe is wise. It knows what you need when you need it, and how to deliver it in a way that will surprise and bless you beyond what you imagined. Sometimes you will only understand divine timing in hindsight. You will look back one day and say, now I see why that had to happen. Now I understand the waiting. Now I know I was being guided all along. And in those moments, you will realize how deeply loved you have always been. Even in your pain, even in your doubt, you were never abandoned. You were simply being led somewhere beautiful. So today, breathe deeply. Relax your grip. Let go of the timelines you've been clinging to. Release the worry. And remind yourself, my life is unfolding in perfect divine order. What is meant for me cannot be taken from me. I do not chase. I do not force. I trust, I allow, and I receive. You are right on time. Everything you've prayed for, dreamed of, and envisioned, it's not lost. It's just aligning. And when the moment is right, it will appear. Until then, trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the unfolding. The universe is never late. And neither are you. Letting go of the how and when is one of the most powerful steps in the manifestation process. Yet it is often the one we resist the most. We live in a world that teaches us to plan, to strategize, to analyze every detail. We are taught that control is safety and that certainty is power. But the truth is, the more we try to grip the outcome, the more we block the flow of life. There is a higher intelligence that knows exactly how to bring your desires to you and exactly when. Your only task is to align with the energy of what you want, and then trust that the universe will handle the rest. When you fixate on how something will happen, you are trying to force a divine process into the small container of your current understanding. But what if your mind cannot yet conceive the miracle that's coming? What if the path to your desire is unlike anything you've imagined? Obsessing over the how is like staring at a seed in the soil and demanding to see the blueprint of the flower. You don't need to know how the flower will bloom. You only need to trust that it will. There is a sacred unfolding happening in your life. You may not see all the pieces yet, but the tapestry is being woven with love. Every encounter, every challenge, every moment of waiting is a thread in that design. And sometimes not knowing how something will happen is a gift. It keeps you humble, present, and connected to something greater than yourself. It teaches you to surrender your ego and open your heart to possibility. Letting go of the when is just as essential. The timeline you hold in your mind is not always a timeline that serves your highest good. You may want something now, but there is wisdom in the waiting. There are lessons you are learning, strengths you are building, clarity you are gaining. The waiting is not empty. It is preparation. And when you're ready, the universe will deliver exactly what you need, often in ways that are far better than you could have planned. Have you ever received something and thought, if I had gotten this earlier, I wouldn't have appreciated it the same way? That's divine timing at work. That's the grace of delay. So instead of watching the clock and worrying about the calendar, come back to the now. Ask yourself, how can I feel good today? How can I align with love, joy, peace, and abundance in this moment? Because when you feel what you desire now, you attract it fast. You become a magnet not through force, but through frequency. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. Letting go means you've done your part. You've set your intention. You've placed your order with the universe. Now you step back and trust that the kitchen is cooking your meal to perfection. You don't run into the kitchen every 5 minutes asking the chef if they're doing it right. You wait, you believe, you know that it's coming. There is so much peace in letting go. There is so much freedom in trusting. You don't need to carry the burden of how and when anymore. You were never meant to. Your job is to stay in alignment, to feel good, to follow inspiration, to take small steps of faith, and the rest will unfold naturally. Life becomes softer, more magical when you stop micromanaging the universe and start dancing with it instead. Every time you let go, you say to life, I trust you. I trust that you love me. I trust that you know the way better than I do. And that trust becomes a magnet for everything you desire. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. You'll meet people you never expected to meet. Doors will open where you didn't even know there were doors. That's the beauty of surrender. That's the magic of alignment. So breathe. Relax your shoulders, loosen your grip on the timeline, free yourself from the need to figure it all out. The how is not your job. The when is not your burden. Your only role is to be a clear, open vessel for the good that is coming. And it is coming. Every day it's getting closer. Even now, forces are moving in your favor. Even now, things are rearranging behind the scenes. Even now, you are being guided toward everything your heart desires. You are allowed to rest in trust. You are allowed to believe in things unseen. You are allowed to know deep in your soul that what you want is not just possible, it's inevitable. When you let go of the how and when, you make space for miracles. You stop pushing and you start receiving. And life becomes not just something you survive, but something you enjoy. Faith is your superpower. It is the invisible force that carries you when the road is unclear, when the nights feel too long, and when your dreams seem far away. Faith is what whispers keep going when there's no logical reason to keep moving forward. It is the gentle assurance that something greater is guiding your steps, even when the map is blank and the path is hidden. Faith isn't just belief. It is your inner compass, your quiet strength, your soul's way of saying, I trust life even now. There are moments in life when things don't make sense. The plans you carefully built begin to fall apart. The people you leaned on may walk away. The vision you had doesn't unfold in the way you imagined. But these are not signs that you failed. These are moments when you are being invited to lean deeper into the unknown, to let go of control and fall into the arms of trust. That is when faith becomes more than just a word. It becomes your lifeline. Faith is not about seeing the entire staircase. It is about taking the first step, even when the next one hasn't appeared yet. It is about believing in the outcome without needing evidence. It is choosing to say, I don't know how and I don't know when, but I know it's coming. And that knowing creates power. That inner certainty becomes a magnet. When you hold faith, you open your heart to the miraculous. You remove resistance, you stop pushing, and you begin receiving. When you are aligned with faith, your energy changes. You no longer act from desperation, fear, or doubt. Instead, you begin to radiate a quiet confidence. People can feel it. The universe responds to it. Doors begin to open. Conversations shift. Solutions appear seemingly out of nowhere because faith creates movement in the unseen. It stirs the invisible forces of good to begin working on your behalf. But faith must be nurtured. Just like a muscle, it grows stronger through use. You don't need perfect conditions to practice faith. In fact, faith is most powerful in the storm, in the uncertain, shaky moments. It's in the waiting rooms of life. It's in the late nights and early mornings when you're holding on by a thread. That's when your spirit is being fortified. That's when you're being prepared for what you've prayed for. Sometimes you won't feel strong. Sometimes your faith will feel like a tiny flicker. But even a flicker can light up the darkness. Even a small mustard seed of belief can move mountains. Don't underestimate the quiet power of your inner trust. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep choosing faith over and over, moment by moment. And faith is not passive. It's not sitting and waiting for life to happen. Faith is active. It moves with intention. It says, even if I can't see the outcome, I will show up fully today. Faith inspires you to act in alignment with the life you desire. It calls you to speak words of love, to think thoughts of abundance, to make choices from a place of inner knowing. Faith allows you to show up in the world as if what you desire is already yours, because in the spiritual realm, it already is. The truth is, everything you are asking for already exists. The love, the opportunity, the healing, the abundance. It is all real. It is all waiting for you to align with it. And faith is the bridge that connects you to it. Faith lifts you above the fear. It silences the doubt. It reminds you that even in delay, there is not denial, only divine preparation. When you live with faith, your life softens. You release the need to chase. You stop trying to force outcomes. You begin to trust in the timing, the flow, the divine unfolding. You understand that detours are often divine redirections. You know that what is meant for you will always find its way. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you choose to move forward anyway. So today, make a choice to return to your faith. Rest in the knowing that all is well. Even if you can't see how, speak to your soul and remind it you are held, you are guided, you are never alone. Allow faith to be your foundation. Let it be your inner light. Carry it with you like a quiet fire, knowing that with faith all things are possible, not because you have control, but because you trust the one who does. Surrender is not giving up. It is not waving a white flag in defeat. It is not admitting weakness or failure. True surrender is an act of strength. It is a conscious decision to release control, to soften your grip, and to trust that life knows what it's doing. Surrender is not the end of effort. It is the beginning of alignment. It is not a collapse into hopelessness. It is an opening to higher guidance. When you surrender, you are not giving up. You are letting in. You are letting in peace. You are letting in clarity. You are letting in miracles that were always waiting for you just on the other side of your resistance. Surrender is the doorway between fear and flow. It's the moment when you stop trying to force your way and start trusting a higher way. You realize that the path ahead doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to be real. And the real path always begins with trust. We are taught from an early age to fight, to strive, to push harder. We're told that success only comes from hustle and that letting go means losing. But there comes a time in every soul's journey when we must confront a deeper truth. The more we tighten our grip, the more life slips through our fingers. The more we try to control everything, the more anxious, exhausted, and disconnected we feel. The breakthrough comes not when we do more, but when we allow more. That's the gift of surrender. To surrender is to say, I trust life. I trust that what is meant for me will not pass me by. I trust that what doesn't work out is making room for something greater. I trust that even in my confusion, I am being guided. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. It's the kind of strength that comes from inner peace, not outer performance. And when you surrender, something powerful happens. You begin to relax into the flow. You begin to notice synchronicities, signs, subtle nudges from the universe. You start to feel held instead of alone. You realize that the very thing you were trying to force wasn't working because it wasn't in alignment with your highest good. The door that wouldn't open was protecting you. The delay was preparing you. The detour was directing you to something far better than you imagined. When you stop resisting what is, you create space for what can be. Surrender is spacious. It is expansive. It makes room for grace. It invites the energy of trust to enter your life and bring with it new opportunities, new connections, and new ways of seeing. It's not about doing nothing. It's about no longer doing everything from fear. We often think that if we surrender, we'll lose control. But what if the control we're clinging to is what's holding us back? What if surrendering actually connects us to a greater intelligence that sees the bigger picture? The ego wants to plan every step. The soul knows there's a rhythm and timing to everything. And the more we align with that rhythm, the more ease we feel, the more flow we experience, the more joy we let in. Surrender doesn't mean you stop showing up. It means you stop forcing outcomes. You still take action, but your actions come from inspiration, not desperation. You still dream big, but you allow those dreams to unfold in divine time. You still move forward, but with peace in your heart instead of pressure on your shoulders. You stop asking, how will this happen, and start affirming, I know it's already happening. Letting in is about softening your energy. It's about releasing the armor of overthinking, overplanning, and overworking. It's about opening to receive rather than constantly chasing. When you surrender, you become a magnet instead of a struggler. You attract solutions, people, and paths that resonate with your soul. You don't beg for them, you don't chase them, you let them in. And even in moments of pain, surrender becomes your sanctuary. When things fall apart, surrender reminds you that something more aligned is coming together. When your heart breaks, surrender holds you with compassion and whispers, this too is part of your becoming. When nothing makes sense, surrender reminds you that your soul is still on schedule. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, you are not behind, you are on the exact path meant for you. And surrender is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. You don't need to see the entire path. You only need to trust the next step. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to stay open. So breathe, soften, let go. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Let go of the need to control everything. And let in the love, the flow, the healing, and the beauty that have been waiting for you. Surrender isn't giving up. It's letting in the life you truly deserve. We are often taught to chase outcomes, to focus on the goal, to visualize the specific car, the house, the job, the relationship. We are told to create vision boards filled with pictures of what we want. But there is a deeper truth. One that transforms manifestation from mere wishing into soulful creation. It's not the outcome we truly desire, it's the feeling we believe that outcome will bring. When we say we want money, what we truly want is the feeling of security, freedom, or abundance. When we say we want a relationship, we're often seeking the feeling of love, connection, or companionship. When we dream of success, it's the feeling of fulfillment, confidence, or significance that our soul is really craving. So if the feeling is what we're really after, then we don't have to wait for the thing to feel the way we want to feel. We can align with the energy right now. And when we do, everything changes. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It doesn't move for people who are clinging, forcing, or begging. It responds to energy, to vibration. And the most powerful vibration you can emit is the feeling of already having what you desire. Not because you're pretending, but because you're choosing to embody the state of being you're calling in. When you align with the feeling first, you're stepping into the frequency of your desire. You're sending a message to the universe, this is who I am now. I am already abundance. I am already love. I am already peace. And life begins to rearrange itself to match that energy. You begin to draw to you experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with the vibration you're radiating. This is where the real magic happens, not in obsessing over details or deadlines, but in surrendering to the emotional state your soul is craving. If you want to manifest joy, find moments of joy now. Laugh more, dance more, savor more. If you want love, pour love into yourself. Be kind, be present, be open. If you want peace, cultivate stillness, breathe deeply, speak gently. Let go of what you can't control. By becoming the feeling now, you collapse time. You no longer need to chase the future because you're living the essence of it in the present. And in doing so, you magnetize more of it into your reality, because the law of attraction isn't about wanting, it's about being. It's about stepping into the version of you who already knows they are worthy, who already feels whole, who already trusts that everything is unfolding perfectly. This isn't about denying your desires or pretending you don't care. It's about detaching from the need and anchoring into the energy. You can still have visions, intentions, and dreams, but you release the pressure, the timelines, the conditions. You stop saying, "I'll be happy when," and instead affirm, "I choose to feel it now." And yes, your mind will try to resist this. It will say, "But how can I feel abundant when my bank account says otherwise? How can I feel loved when I feel alone?" That's where your inner power comes in. You get to choose your state regardless of circumstance. You get to become the source of your feelings instead of waiting for the outside world to deliver them to you. This is where your freedom lives, in the decision to feel good now, in the decision to cultivate the inner landscape that matches the life you're calling in. In the moment you stop needing the outcome to feel the feeling, you become the creator instead of the seeker. And that shift changes everything. There's nothing wrong with desiring beautiful things, but let the feeling lead. Let it be the guiding star. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And then build your day around that. Build your thoughts, your choices, your actions around that energy. Make feeling good your daily practice. Make joy your priority. Make peace your companion. Because when you are aligned with the feeling, the outcome is inevitable. It has no choice but to meet you. It's not something you chase. It's something you attract. And it often arrives in ways you never could have scripted. Better, bolder, and more beautiful than what you imagined. So let go of the obsession with how and when. Let go of the need to control every step. Come home to the feeling. Trust that the more you embody it now, the faster it will manifest in your reality. The feeling is your compass. The feeling is your frequency. The feeling is your power. Everything you want is already waiting for you in the energetic realm. When you align with the feeling, you unlock the door. You become the invitation. You become the match. And the life you've been dreaming of begins to show up, not because you forced it, but because you became it. Life is not working against you. It never has. Even when the path feels unclear, even when your heart aches, and nothing seems to make sense, trust this truth. Everything is happening for you. Every delay, every disappointment, every ending that broke your spirit, each one holds a higher purpose, even if you cannot yet see it. You are not being punished, you are being shaped. You are not being rejected, you are being redirected. Life in its infinite wisdom sees beyond what your eyes can. It understands the timing, the lessons, the growth, and the preparation needed to move you into your highest good. And so it doesn't always give you what you want in the moment, but it always gives you what you need. We often mistake unanswered prayers as neglect, when in truth, they are grace in disguise. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the door that closed, those moments weren't failures. They were divine interventions. They were the universe's way of saying, not this, because I have something better. Even if it didn't feel like a blessing at the time, trust that it will all make sense in hindsight. Pain, though unwanted, is one of the most powerful catalysts for transformation. It wakes you up, it softens you, it humbles you. It strips away illusions and brings you back to what truly matters. You don't grow only in moments of joy. You grow in the trenches of your soul, in the quiet moments when you are left alone with your thoughts, when you are learning to trust again, to breathe again, to believe again. Everything is happening for you, not just the good, but the hard parts too. Life uses both the sunshine and the storm to sculpt your soul. And what you think is breaking you is often breaking you open. You are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to evolve. You are meant to stretch, to rise, to deepen in compassion, in strength, in wisdom. The cracks in your heart are not flaws, they are opening, and through them the light gets in. Sometimes the people who hurt you are part of your soul's contract, not to stay, but to awaken something within you. Perhaps to teach you boundaries, to remind you of your worth, to show you what you no longer want to tolerate. While it's easy to label them as mistakes, they were messengers. And even if they were temporary, their presence served a purpose. The universe wastes nothing, not your tears, not your losses, not your mistakes. It recycles everything into gold when you allow it. Your job is not to figure out every detail. Your job is to stay open, to trust the unfolding, to believe that you are always being led, even when the road is rocky, even when it's dark, even when you feel like nothing is working. Because here's the truth, life is always working, even when you can't see it. Seeds are growing beneath the soil long before you see the sprout. The dream is manifesting behind the scenes long before it becomes reality. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it isn't happening. Just because you don't feel progress doesn't mean growth isn't occurring. Trust the process. There is timing involved in everything, divine timing, and what is meant for you will never miss you, not because you chased it, but because you were aligned with it. Your only responsibility is to stay in alignment, to remain faithful, to focus on becoming the version of you who is ready to receive. That version is patient. That version is grounded. That version knows that delays are not denials. They are part of divine design. Let go of the need to control everything. Let go of the belief that you're behind. You are not late. You are right on time for your life. The lessons you're learning now are equipping you for what's next. The discomfort is a sign that you're expanding. Don't resist it. Move through it with grace. Trust that when the time is right, what is yours will arrive with ease. One day, you'll look back and see how every detour led you to exactly where you needed to be. You'll realize that nothing was wasted. Every heartbreak, every closed chapter, every unanswered question, it was all part of the masterpiece. You were never alone. You were always being guided. So breathe deeply, rest in the knowing that life is on your side. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You only need to trust. Keep your heart open. Keep your energy clear. Keep showing up with love. Everything is happening for you, and even if it's not visible yet, the universe is preparing a beautiful chapter just for you.